The whole point of Obon is to remember all of those who have passed.
You know, Obon is also an opportunity to thank those who came before you.
We admire and appreciate our ancestors, remember them, how they led us to who we are today.
It is a way for our community, our Sangha, and the wider community to get together in a fun environment. Food, music, dancing, what more could you ask for?
The whole point of Obon is dancing with our ancestors to have fun once more. They eat good food once more. They drink once more. And Obon is that time to reflect on them again and to be with them once more.
How long have I been with this temple? I guess all my life. So 68 plus years now. But no, my family, going back to my grandparents, have been affiliated with this temple.
I have been with this temple since November 2022.
I also started dancing here about 5 years ago.
I've been a member of the White River Buddhist Temple, officially dues paying and everything, for about 5 years. But I've been coming to this temple for well over 40 years.
I've been a member here at White River Buddhist Temple for my entire life, so 34 years. My family's been here for 4 generations and have been with the temple for over 100 years.
This was a farming temple. This was many farmers, this land. Your museum tells about the story of having truck crops or small family farms.
So my family history is here in the Auburn and Kent Valley. They started out as farmers, as immigrants from Japan, and they farmed for generations just up the road here. Like many of the other temple families who are also farmers, temple was a place of community. Historically, a Japanese-American community that struggled with prejudice and racism that was directed toward them. And so the temple was really seen as the safe space for them, right? That they could come to, that they could be in community, that they could be with others who have similar experiences as them. For generations, the temple has been a place of sanctuary for the Japanese-American community. It provided a place for us to be able to celebrate our culture when our culture was not accepted here in the United States. And so when I think about the temple's place in a contemporary period right now, in the moment that we're in, when there's terrible anti-AA NHPI rhetoric against our communities, when there's violence against our communities, when in a time that our communities face folks who don't accept us for who we are, or who have rejected us from their community or don't say we don't belong here. The temple is a place that welcomes everyone, right? And we see and these challenges, while they are contemporary today, they are old challenges, right? And so for the temple, I think there's a place for it to use its history and its experiences, and many of those in the Japanese American community who have experienced that hate, that racism, that prejudice, have an opportunity to speak up for other communities as well. Not just for Asian American communities, but other communities that have faced discrimination or hate against them. And so, at White River, we often say that our unofficial mantra is "You are welcome here," right? Because we oftentimes find people who join the temple are folks who have been not accepted by others, or are just looking for a place of community. And that's what we want the temple to be, right? Before it was a place of community for Japanese Americans, but today it's a place of community for everyone, right here in the Auburn Valley.
This temple was built in 1963, was dedicated in September of '64. The temple before this one was west of our current site, probably about maybe just a half mile over, just across the tracks. I think it was the old Thomas School that they moved to that site, and then it became the second temple. It was kind of scary, but it was, I mean, but it was, it was an old wood building and cold. That's everybody's remembering. It remembers it was cold and remembers that because it was next to the railroad, the trains would go by, and when the trains went by, the whole building shook. The onaijin, or the shrine, all that came from that temple. The panels that are just above on the wall came from that temple. The maple that is out front and the cherry, I think both came from that temple. They transplanted them here. The Obon Dori at that time, it was all just a temple function. It was not a public event, but they moved the pews out of the way, created enough space for to have a dance circle, and had the Bon Dori inside. So I think it was 1970 was the first time we actually did Bon Dori here at this current temple. I remember our older members saying, well, we started this just to have the event, have fun. It was more for the temple members, but since we had people, public coming, we decided, well, we should have some things in terms of food items, things like that, to raise some funds, but it was never, at that time, was not considered a major fundraiser for the temple. I remember, the dancing in the out front, and kind of the, putting together. We put up wooden booths for some of the concessions, things like that, and just helping out. I guess that's kind of remember working in the kori or the ice shaving booth, things like that. But I don't dance.
While the Obon Festival is a fundraiser for the temple, it's also an opportunity for us to open our doors as a temple and to show them that we are not that different from you. That we want you to see our religion, our practices, our culture here at the temple, right? Our history here in the Auburn Valley, because we are, and always have been, part of this community.
As the minister, I conduct a service for everyone who would like to join to remember their family members who have passed. And yeah, it makes me sad. Even I'm tearing up right now. And because, right, the hardest part about Obon is that it is a memorial service for everyone who have passed, which touches those who are still grieving. But at the same time, Obon is the festival in which all of those who have passed come back to us and dance with us, have a fun time with us, drink with us once more. And for that reason, I am also very happy that Obon is there, because I get to meet those who have passed once more.
Enjoy the food, enjoy the company, enjoy the music.
I mean, I'm sure everyone has said it, but and just enjoy the food.
Well, mochi is made of the sweet rice flour, and then we just mix the water and the sugar in there, and then you steam it, and then when it's still hot, you have to cut them in certain pliable sizes, and then you make them into balls, and then you got to flatten it out, and then you either just form it that way and eat it cold, or you could put on inside of it the red bean with sugar, and make it into a sweet pastry.
My best tip for making mochi is to have quick hands when you're making mochi. You don't want to hold it because the heat's going to be just seeping through the gloves and into your fingers. So the quicker you are with your hands, the better and the easier it is to make.
I think of mochi as being a celebratory food, appropriate for holidays, and also for us, it's a fundraiser, and it's fairly difficult to make, so it has a lot of cachet. It's important, and people love to buy it. People wait for our fundraisers to buy our mochi because it's very tasty.
I think it's also a nice event for our temple members and our supporters to come together and have a time to get together and we chat and make friends while we're making mochi.
And the older members teaching the younger members and the newer members how to make it. And so it's important as a fundraiser, but it's important culturally at our temple, and it's a great social event for us also to make it together.
My favorite memory of making mochi is probably coming here as a kid, maybe being, I don't know, in the fifth grade. We'd all be in the kitchen surrounded around the 2 kitchen islands. There would be an island for mochi and an island for manju, and we'd all be crammed in the kitchen with the stoves around the perimeter, and it'd be so hot in there. And it's not how it is today, where we have it all spread out and it's very efficient, and we have gloves on our hands to make mochi. We would do it barehanded. And so I remember making mochi and looking over at my little sister and just seeing the globs of mochi spreading between her fingers and being like, what are you doing over there? But yeah, just like seeing her with just the strings of the rice flour just between her fingers. And so I have that visual in my head when I think of being a kid making mochi.
My favorite Obon food is probably our shave ice. It's really nostalgic of the summer in general. It's a nice cool treat with shave ice with flavor and azuki beans, which are red beans, and condensed milk, and it just tastes like summer in a lot of different ways. The dancing is such an incredible cultural as well as religious significance. I try to dance every year because I think, it's not only one of those things that I do for myself, but it's also just being in community with other people, right? Hundreds of other people who are dancing in a circle together and remembering those who have passed on before us.
As I dance, I always really think of my grandpa who passed away.
And it's held in the afternoon and goes into the evening, and so the sun goes down, the lights shine and twinkle, and our last dance is Goshuwondo. It's based on, again, appreciating all the benefits that we receive every day. And so I really enjoy that last dance, just circling the parking lot. It's the same music that's been played for 40 years, the beautiful drumming, and so it just brings us all together, the world of humanity, the world of nature, enjoying the moment and being thankful.
I think about my grandparents and the sacrifices that they made and the way that I would never be able to pay back what they gave me.
A lot of people are able to experience Japanese culture regardless if you're Japanese American, or not. And I think it's a great opportunity for everybody to spend time together.
This is a family reunion. I get to see people I haven't seen. I only see them at Obon's.
What I enjoy about Bonodori is seeing those friends coming out and greeting them, and just being able to see them, chat with them, make sure that everybody's having a good time.
Obon is really important to our family because it's an opportunity for our family to come back to the temple every summer. And I see it as an opportunity to reconnect, right? Reconnect with our history, our culture, and to remember those who have, again, laid the foundation for us in our lives to be where we are. Because I think, we don't reflect enough upon some of those things in our lives, and so it really is a great opportunity to do so.
We all have lost a loved one, and that is the essence of Obon. And so I think Obon is for every single person.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I know it looks intimidating. There's thousands of people here dancing all in a circle, and they kind of seem what they know what they're doing. They don't. And this is a great opportunity for people to kind of learn and put themselves out there. And we oftentimes say in Buddhism, no ego, because that prevents you from being your true self. And so, we want people to get past their ego. We want people to have this, see it as an opportunity for them to have fun and to put themselves out there.
We just want people to have fun, whichever way they feel like, to be a part of this community that we have here.
Like I said, I don't dance.